The Business Registration Reform Program has been initiated by the Government of Vietnam since 2007 as a part of the reform agenda that targets towards a more efficient and transparent public administration. Over the past few years, the business registration reform has gained significant improvement in simplification the market entry procedures of enterprises, especially with the successful implementation of the one-stop shop cooperation mechanism in business tax and seal carving registration, based on the cooperation between the Ministry of Planning and Investment, MPI, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Public Security. It therefore has shortened the statutory processing time to 5 days at present. The initial outcomes and the inevitable demands of the market have at the same time raised a higher requirement for legal reform. In April 2010, the Prime Minister promulgated the Decree 43, consolidating and simplifying different market entry procedures into one procedure, named Consolidated Business Registration, through which an enterprise is given a unique enterprise code throughout its life cycle. For the advancement in performing registration tasks and consolidating enterprise databases, an information technology system called National Business Registration System, NBRS, has been developed and implemented across 63 provinces and cities. Presently, the NBRS is used by more than 550 business registration offices from central to local level, through which about 7,200 certificates for new registration and 8,400 certificates for amendment registration are issued each month.
The achievements so far of the project is that we have finished phase 1, meaning that we have made the legal framework for the new business registration system. We made a unified system for the whole nation and standardized for all 63 provinces, and they are all now using the same business registration system throughout the nation.
From the perspective of state management, in order to ensure that simple and low-cost business registration is consistently implemented nationwide as a user-friendly service for the business community, in 2010, the Prime Minister promulgated the decision on the establishment of the Agency for Business Registration under the MPI. The efforts of the Government of Vietnam in administrative reform on business registration have globally been recognised. In 2010, according to the Doing Business report released by the World Bank, Vietnam placed number 4 out of the 10 most reformed economies in terms of ease of doing business. It raised Vietnam's business environment ranking up by 10 levels in comparison with the year 2009 and positioned Vietnam 78th out of 183 countries and by 14 levels in the ranking of ease of business startup procedures.
Bằng cái sự quyết tâm của chính phủ, Bộ Kế đầu tư và trực tiếp là của Cục Đăng ký Kinh doanh, dự án và các phòng đăng ký kinh doanh địa phương cùng với Tổng cục thuế các địa phương, thì chúng ta lần đầu tiên tại Việt Nam có một hệ thống đăng ký kinh doanh quốc gia đồng bộ. Chúng ta có thể có tất cả các dữ liệu về doanh nghiệp trên hệ thống.
Apparently, the decisive factor ensuring successful implementation of administrative reform has been the steadfast orientation and determination of the Government of Vietnam to move forward on improving the business environment in Vietnam. The second factor is the endorsement and close cooperation between the related ministries, especially the dynamic and effective cooperation between the MPI and the General Department of Taxation in linking their systems to each other electronically, sharing data and issuing the unique enterprise code. The third factor which contributed largely to the accomplishments achieved is the support and cooperation of the international organisations, especially the effective partnership in sharing the reform vision between the Government of Vietnam and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, the Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs.
Nói chung sự hợp tác trong thời gian vừa rồi, cộng đồng trách nhiệm, chia sẻ thông tin và tất cả là đều hướng vào cái mục tiêu chung để thực hiện tốt cái nghị quyết của chính phủ, những cái quy định của chính phủ.
The achievements attained so far have been significant. However, the demands of society for a more transparent, dynamic business community still pose a great challenge to the state's reform agenda.
Trong thời gian tới, Cục Quản lý Đăng ký Kinh doanh sẽ tiếp tục đẩy mạnh cái chương trình cải cách đã thực hiện tương đối thành công trong những năm vừa qua, đặc biệt chú trọng vào những cái công tác ví dụ như tiếp tục đơn giản hóa cái thủ tục cho doanh nghiệp gia nhập thị trường, bằng việc là chúng tôi sẽ cho phép áp dụng các cái chữ ký điện tử trong đăng ký kinh doanh, thậm chí là cho phép áp dụng các cái thanh toán điện tử để làm sao người dân có thể thực sự là thực hiện việc đăng ký qua mạng một cách toàn diện để mà gia nhập thị trường được một cách nhanh chóng. Và cuối cùng, quan trọng hơn hết là doanh nghiệp Việt Nam ta sẽ có được một cái môi trường thông tin minh bạch hơn, do đó sẽ hoạt động an toàn hơn và sẽ tham gia kết nối làm ăn hợp tác với các doanh nghiệp khác một cách dễ dàng hơn.
Subsequently, the business registration reform in Vietnam will continue to be pushed in the coming time to bring business registration tasks in Vietnam closer to international practices. On one hand, to establish a modern, effective and transparent business environment for the business community, foreign and domestic investors alike, when entering Vietnam market. On the other hand, the establishment of the National Business Registration System is an important step in the computerization process of administrative operations and socio-economic information, and in fact, it is an e-government initiative.